Hi, I am Tushar Sarkar and you are watching NCRT Guruji. Today is my first video on science, nutrition in plants, class 7. As this chapter is much big, it is divided into two parts. Today you are watching part 1. So without any further delay, let's start our topic. Before starting our topic, we will know what we are going to learn in this chapter. We are going to learn what is autotrophic, what is chlorophyll, what is heterotrophs, what are hosts, what is insectivorous, what is nutrients, what is nutrition, what is parasite, what is photosynthesis, what is saprotypes, what is saprotropy, what is stomata, and much more things we are going to learn in this chapter. So let's get started our chapter. Nutrition in plants. In class 6, you learned that food is an essential for all living organisms. Here is saying that we have learned in class 6 that food is very important in our daily lifestyle. By how food gives us energy to work, food helps us to grow, and foods also give us nutrients and minerals which also help to repair our damaged body cells. After that, here is written carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals are components of food. Here you can get a question in exam that what is components of food. There you can write carbohydrates, proteins, fat, vitamins, and minerals are components of food. Then there is these components of food are called nutrients. In full form you can write here, then the question can be that what is nutrition. Then you can write the carbohydrates, proteins, fat, vitamins, and minerals are components of food. These components of food are called nutrition, and these are very essential for our body. Then all living organisms require food. Plants can synthesize food for themselves, but animals, including humans, cannot. They get it from plants or animals as they get it from plants or animals that eat plants. Now it is a time where we are going to know that what is autotrophic and what is heterotrophic. In our key points, we have also heard the question that what is autotrophic, heterotropics, and etc. So let's start it. Thus, humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants. So, we are heterotrophs and plants are autotrophs. Heterotrophs are those who are dependent on anyone, and plants are those who are known as autotrophs, who can make their own food by synthesizing by inorganic substance. So, in the second para, here it is written, plants are the only organism that can prepare food for themselves by using water, carbon dioxide, and minerals. Here is a point that the plants are the only organism. Plants are the only single organisms that prepare their own food by themselves. Remember the point that plants can only make their own food by themselves by using water, carbon dioxide, and minerals. They get the water from the soil, and they also get the minerals from the soil, and they get the carbon dioxide which we excrete while our respirating system. The raw materials are present in their surrounding. The nutrients enable living organisms to build their bodies, to grow, to repair damaged part of their bodies, and provides the energy to carry out life process. Nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and utilizing it by the body. Here you can write a question that what is nutrition, and in answer you can write that nutrition is a mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body. The mode of nutrition in which organisms make food themselves from simple substance is called autotrophy. At first we have read that what is autotropic. Here is written in this definition. When you get the question that what is autotropic, you can write that the mode of nutrition in which organisms make food themselves from simple substances is called autotropy. So the plants are autotrophic, as we say, because they can make their own food by using the simple inorganic substances. So they are independent and they are not dependent on anyone. So on this reason they are known as autotrophic. You can think that autotrophic is a very difficult word, but not as well. Auto means self and tropos means nourishment. Those organisms which self nourishes their body is known as autotrophic. Animals and most other organisms take in prepared food by plants. Here, as first we have read that the animals, including the human beings, are dependent on plants as indirectly or directly. They are called heterotrophics. It is not as well as the difficult word. Heteros mean others and trophos mean the nourishments. Those organisms which are others' nourishment, they are dependent on others' nourishment, is known as heterotrophs, including human beings. We are also in this table of heterotroph. Here is an picture and said Paheli wants to know why our body cannot make food from carbon dioxide, water and minerals like plants do. It is a very interesting question that why our body cannot make foods like plant make with carbon dioxide and water and minerals. There is only one reason for this, that human or any living organism does not contain chlorophyll, which absorb the sunlight from the sun. And for this reason, human or any other living things cannot make their own food by simple inorganic substances like the plants make with carbon dioxide and water. Now, we may ask where the food factories of plants are located. It is a very simple question that where the food factories of plants are located. This is known as the leaves of the plants are known as the food factories of the plant. Whether food is made in all parts of the plant or any certain parts. The first statement is wrong, that is written whether food is made in all parts of the plant. It is false because the plant is made in only one area known as leaf. Next paragraph. Leaves are the food factories of plant. Therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaf, water and minerals present in the soil are absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. Carbon dioxide from air is taken in. Here is a line that the first question in the first paragraph was that whether food is made in all parts of plants. No, here is in the second paragraph you can see that leaves are the food factories of the plants, means leaves are the parts where the food is made in plants. In the second line there is written water and minerals present in the soil are absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. Carbon dioxide from air is taken in. As we know that the water and minerals are taken by the plants in by the roots of the plants, and the carbon dioxide is taken by the plant through the leaves. In the page number 3 you can notice a diagram showing that the plant is capturing the light energy and the carbon dioxide is taken also by the leaves, and the chlorophyll is absorbing the sunlight which is given by the sun. and in the underground you can see that the roots are absorbing water and minerals. So by this picture you can utilize your mind that how the plants take their minerals and carbon dioxide. Next page. And with a few moments we completed our first page. If you have any query, you can ask me in the comment section. Then next page is saying says you have seen the buildings are made of bricks. Similarly, the bodies of living organisms are made of tiny cells, tiny units called cells. So the human seen that the building are made of bricks. Similarly, their bodies of living organisms are made of tiny units. Like our homes are made of tiny bricks, since our body is also made by tiny cells. You can also say that cells are the miniest organ of our body. You can say this. Then cells can be seen only under the microscope. You cannot see in your open eyes. You have to see in microscope. Without microscope, you cannot see the cells. Some organisms are made of tiny one cells, and there is in the last part you can know that the things which are made of only one cell, they are known as unicellular or one-celled organisms. And the few examples of these are hyphae, amoeba, etc. The cell is enclosed by a thin outer boundary called the cell membrane. In the figure 1.1 of cell, you can see that the cell membrane is the covering of the inner cell. Most cells have distinct, certainly located spherical structure called nucleus. Most of the cells are covered mostly by the nucleus. Then the nucleus is surrounded by a jelly-like structure called cytoplasm. Again, the nucleus is also surrounded by a jelly-like structure called cytoplasm. Through the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves, the pores are surrounded by guard cells. Such pores are called stomata. I think you are distracted from the first line that that carbon dioxide from air is taken in through the tiny pores present on the surface of leaf. These pores are surrounded by a guard cells. Such pores are called stomata. So here you know that the tiny pores, here you can write that if the question is that what is stomata or what are the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaf, then you can write that the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves by which plants respirate and produce this the oxygen and gets the carbon dioxide is known as stomata. And here you can see, here it is written, these pores are surrounded by a guard cells. Such pores are called stomata. Then here it is written that such pores are covered with guard cells. In the page number 3, you can hear in the figure 1.2, here it is given that figure and the inside is guard cells and the inner inside of the inside is known as stomata. So here you understand with the figure, and really interesting it is the chapter. Here it is an boy that Bhojju wants to know how water and minerals absorbed by roots reach time leaves. Here it is given that Bhojju wants to know how water and minerals are absorbed by the roots reach the leaves. And this is known as that there is a special two cells which transport the water and minerals, and the two cells are xylem and phloem, which are present in the stem and all the parts of the plants. Waters and minerals are transported to the leaves by the vessels which runs like pipe throughout the root. The stem, branches and the leaves, they form a continuous path or passage for the nutrients. To reach the leaf, they are called vessels. You will learn more about transport of materials in plants in chapter 11. It is very long. We are now reading chapter 1, so it is not possible. The leaves have a green pigment called chlorophyll. Here it is written that the leaves have a green pigment. The green color of the leaf is specially for the chlorophyll present in it. It helps leaf to capture the energy of the sunlight. This energy is used to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. Since the synthesis of food occurs in the presence of sunlight, it is called photosynthesis. So here you can get a question that what is photosynthesis, or what is the process known as by which the plants makes their food. Here you can write that the process of making food by plants by using simple inorganic substances are known as photosynthesis. So we found that chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water are necessary to carry out the process of photosynthesis. It is a unique process on the earth. The solar energy is captured. It is a point to remember that the solar energy is captured by the sun and it is stored in the leaves and converted into the liquefied energy. The sun is the ultimate source of the energy for all living organisms. With few moments, we have covered 2 pages of the chapter, and in today's session we have learned what is autotrophy, what is chlorophyll, what is heterotropics, what is nutrients and nutrients, what is photosynthesis, what is stomata, and much more. It was just an interesting session. With these topics, we have finished our first part, and thank you.